The rancher, Cole Maddox, wasn't expecting blood that morning, but the desert wind carried the smell of copper and death as he rode past the lone cottonwood near the old trail. There, strung upside down like a butchered calf, was a young woman, her dress torn and smeared with dust and blood, her wrists raw from rope, her chest heaving faintly as if life clung to her out of pure spite. Cole's jaw tightened, eyes darting around the empty prairie, half expecting rifle barrels from the ridge. Because in the West, cruelty was never without an audience. He dismounted, knife flashing as he cut the rope, catching her limp form before she hit the dirt. Her cracked lips moved, whispering, "Please, don't let him find me again. This is his game." Cole felt a chill colder than the grave. Whoever he was, he had left her alive on purpose, and that meant the rancher had just stepped into someone else's cruel design. Back at his ranch, Cole laid her on his cot, her body shaking, her skin fever-hot beneath streaks of dirt and dried blood. She woke screaming, thrashing like a trapped animal until she saw his face and went still, whispering, "You shouldn't have touched me." "He'll come for you now." Cole gave her water, his rough hands steadying the tin cup, demanding answers, but her eyes held a madness born from fear deeper than words. She finally muttered that the sheriff of Ash Hollow, Kane, a man respected and feared, was no lawman but a hunter of souls, playing games with the lives of women, branding them with terror until their spirits broke. She had run after, stumbling onto a ledger filled with secrets, but he had caught her, strung her up, and then left her alive, knowing she'd either die slow or drag someone else into his twisted game. Cole's stomach knotted. He had thought himself hardened by cattle raids and border skirmishes. But this was cruelty of another breed, and now he was marked by it. Cole rode into Ash Hollow to gather supplies, the woman hidden in his bunkhouse under lock and key, and the town felt different now. Every face suspicious, every smile too sharp, as if the whole place lived under Kane's shadow. Men on porches stared too long, women crossed the street in silence, and the sheriff himself appeared in the street, tipping his hat with a grin that carried no warmth. "Heard you pulled someone down from a tree," Kane said smoothly, his eyes glinting like a rattler in the sun. "Careful, rancher. Some games don't end the way you think." Cole forced his jaw to unclench, tipped his own hat, and rode out. But the message was clear. Kane knew, and the noose was already tightening. That night the woman begged him to run, to take his cattle and vanish. But Cole only loaded his rifles, muttering, "If it's a game he wants, then he'll learn I don't scare easy." The attack came under a sliver moon, masked riders thundering into Cole's ranch yard with torches blazing, gunfire splitting the night. Cole dragged the woman behind overturned barrels, thrusting a rifle into her hands, and together they answered lead with lead, sparks flying as bullets tore through wood and stone. Horses screamed, chickens scattered, and the air stank of smoke and blood until the attackers fled, leaving bodies sprawled in the dirt. One dying man rasped, "This is his game. You can't win," before Cole finished him with a boot on the neck. The woman sobbed into her hands, whispering that Kane would never stop, that he liked to watch hope crumble before the kill. Cole stared at the horizon, chest heaving, the rage inside him hotter than the flames licking his barn. He had been drawn into a cruel game, but he would not play by Kane's rules. In the days that followed, the woman, whose name was revealed as Elena, showed Cole the reason Kane wanted her back. A worn leather ledger she had stolen, hidden beneath her torn dress even as she hung from the tree. Inside were names, judges, bankers, cattle barons, all marked with bribes, killings and deaths. To Kane, it was proof that Ash Hollow and half the territory bent beneath his will. Cole flipped through the pages, his calloused thumb tracing the ink, fury building in his chest. Eleanor whispered that she had been one of his games once, groomed to be broken, but she escaped before he finished the job. Cole slammed the book shut and swore, "This ain't just your fight anymore. This land deserves better than him." But Elena only shook her head, eyes dark with despair. "He doesn't lose, Cole. Not ever." One evening, Kane himself rode up to the ranch with half a dozen deputies, his smile polished as silver, his words smooth as oil. He offered Cole a deal: hand over Eleanor and the ledger, and Kane would not only spare the ranch, but fatten it with contracts and protection. Eleanor gripped Cole's arm, whispering "don't," while Kane leaned forward in the saddle, voice dropping low. "This is my game, Maddox. You don't win by playing. You win by folding." Cole's jaw tightened, his hand resting on the butt of his revolver. But Kane only tipped his hat, turned his horse, and left dust curling in his wake. That night Elena broke down, begging Cole to abandon her, to save himself. But Cole only loaded more shells, muttering, "If I give you up, then I'm already dead." Cole decided the ledger had to reach the federal marshal 2 counties over, so he saddled up before dawn, tucking it beneath his coat. But word had already spread. Someone close had betrayed him, and Kane's riders ambushed him on the ridge, rifles cracking, bullets kicking dust around his boots. Cole fought like a cornered wolf, his rifle spitting lead, blood soaking his shirt where a bullet grazed him. But there were too many. He dove into the rocks, crawling through brush with the ledger clutched to his chest, until at last he staggered back to the ranch, bleeding and half dead. But Elena was gone, tracks leading toward town. Kane hadn't just wanted the ledger, he wanted her back in his cage. Cole swore through gritted teeth that this game would end tonight, no matter the cost. In Ash Hollow's saloon, Kane stood tall as Eleanor was dragged before him, the ledger tossed at his feet. He revealed the truth with venomous pride. She wasn't just a victim, but his own illegitimate daughter, a blood tie he used as both leash and chain. The room buzzed with whispers, deputies shifting uneasily, townsfolk pale with shock. Eleanor spat at his boots, screaming she'd rather die than be his pawn. Kane's smile faltered, rage twisting his face, hand dropping toward his revolver. But before the shot could come, the saloon doors burst open and Cole strode in, battered, bleeding but unbroken, his revolver raised, his voice carrying like thunder. "Game's over." Kane. The sheriff's eyes widened, his control slipping for the first time. The final showdown froze the saloon, every soul holding breath as Kane and Cole faced each other, hands hovering near their guns. Kane smirked, but there was a crack in his mask now, his eyes flicking between his daughter and the rancher who refused to fold. "You'll die for her," Kane sneered, and drew fast as lightning, but Cole's shot was faster, ripping through Kane's chest before his revolver cleared leather. The sheriff staggered, disbelief on his lips, before crumpling into the dirt-stained floorboards. The deputies dropped their weapons, townsfolk surging forward to tear down the tyrant's grip at last. Elena collapsed against Cole, whispering through tears, "You saved me. You saved us all." Cole holstered his smoking gun, voice low and steady. "No, we ended his game." And as the dawn broke over Ash Hollow, gold spilling across the saloon's broken windows, a new chapter for the town began, one built not on fear, but on freedom. If this story struck your heart like a six-shooter at dawn, don't ride off just yet. Subscribe to the channel for more gripping, Wild West stories of survival, betrayal, and redemption. Every new tale is a journey you won't want to miss under the burning frontier sun.